Hey everyone. I came down this road because I was gonna make a nice video of all the beautiful trees and stuff, but I just fell into a hole. I'm out of it, but over it. So I'm trying to cut the wheel as much as possible to hopefully not fall into it too much again. I have to kind of go into it. Trying to get out of it. Come on. Four-wheel drive. Whoa! Damn. Trying to figure out what's the best way to get out of this. Oops. I should get back out again and look before I make another move. I'm back out of the hole, but it's under me. I got myself into some bad thing. Okay. Get back up again. Try to get over a little, because I got skid plates and stuff, but I'm just worried about, like, okay, I gotta keep my foot on the brake and the gas. Gotta go over more. I think it's best if I just continue straight and come back, and I'll just go way over. Oh, the back tire's gonna fall into it now. I gotta go look one more time before I allow that. Good thing I did that, looked outside. All right, foot on the brake and the gas. If I move an inch forward, I'm gonna fall into a hole I don't think I can get out of. All right, cutting the wheel all the way. I'm letting the front left fall into a slightly smaller hole. Slow, very slow, because when your wheels are crooked, it's easier to break ball joints if you do hit something. All right, we're falling a little. Okay. And now I'm plowing down bushes and stuff because it's a very overgrown road. All right. This is the one time it's appropriate to drive with both feet. Yeah, there's bushes back there that are like taller than me, but they're twigs. I have to run over a bunch of bushes because I have to turn around here. It's gonna be way worse if I have to back up around tight corners. So, if I would have continued straight there, just half a foot, rear wheel would have fell into a hole, possibly breaking off the plastic mud flaps and parts of around the tire. All right, we just fell into a pretty bad hole. We got to plow over some of these weak trees. All right, that was a lot better than I thought. I've learned not to panic in these situations, and I want to get out real quick and show you what I just got myself into. I can shut four-wheel drive off. I don't need it. This road, I've never explored it this far. I have tried many times, but it's always been such a big mud hole, but it's dry this fall. All right, so I was driving and the grass was pretty tall. I just knocked that over. I just backed up into here, which is flat, because this used to be a 2-lane road. I know I got a bunch of space, but always check what you're backing into first. So right here, I was driving and I didn't see the erosion. This culvert must be clogged and it went over, eroding it before the grass grew in, which was hiding it. So by looking at it, if I go over here, I can drive over it. But I wasn't aware of how deep this hole was that the grass was hiding. Look at that. It fell into this hole completely. Thankfully, the suspension made it where that tire wasn't touching the ground. It was able to continue. Right here, I dug into the ground deep, but I looked underneath, no damage. My truck doesn't have any of those cheap plastic skid plates. They're all super thick aluminum, made for smashing into things and bottoming out. I was just trying not to get stuck. I have a winch, but I really didn't want to get stuck. I don't think this road is worth driving any further on it. Goes a couple more miles, the map says, but is it really worth it? I don't think so. This road's just getting tighter and tighter, becoming more and more of a paint scraper. All right, we're gonna drive back now, and I'll show you some beautiful fall colors. The sun won't be aimed at us the whole time. We just gotta go around a corner up here and we'll be good. Should be behind the trees for the majority of this ride. When we go around a corner, it'll be behind us, making it look a lot more scenic. This road's usually extremely muddy since the drainage ditches aren't working. It's like driving through swamp grass. I believe a lot of what you're seeing is actually aquatic grass too. Look at all the leaves on the hood falling off the trees we're scraping against. It's real tight up here too. I saw a moose. Moose are not afraid of noises usually. Like, you hear that noise back there? I have a cowbell I hang underneath the back of the truck. It keeps deer and stuff off the road, I believe. Better than those little whistles I got. And it doesn't scare moose away. Moose are not intimidated by noises like that. It's not like the right type of noise. Alright, here we got some beautiful fall colors, and it'll get better and better. Of course, when I get off of this road and I can actually crawl underneath the truck nicely, I'll still inspect, but I visually don't see anything. The biggest issue about a place like that is not necessarily the skid plates, but think about what doesn't have a skid plate, like the muffler, which I know is fine. It's not even the right spot, but things like the drive shaft, you wouldn't notice it until you get up to high speeds if you slightly bent it somehow. But bottoming out on it. Like some of these new trucks, I don't understand why there's a lot of off-road trucks. I think Ford is one that does it a lot. They give you an aluminum drive shaft, ultra light, better gas mileage, but aluminum soft, it bends. Why would you put that in an off-road vehicle? I've seen a few YouTube videos of that. It bends too easily if you hit something. I'll shut the window now. Don't need to be listening out anymore. I tried to get a beautiful shot of a moose up here earlier. It even was posing for me, but the lighting was bad like you see right now. I couldn't get a good picture of it. It would have been one of the best shots ever. Beautiful fall foliage, everything. But the sun was in the wrong spot to get the moose nicely. I have a blurry picture of it with all the fall colors, but you can't even make out it was a moose. It was a pretty friendly moose. I got out of the vehicle, stood in front of the truck, taking some pictures of it. It posed for a good 30 seconds, then it ran away. Never approach an animal like that too close, but if you're able to just jump back in, obviously, if you see it walking towards you, then just as long as you make sure you have the time to do that. But most animals like that don't want to hurt you, they just want to run away. Or here's a very rocky area. Boom. The logging company likely put these rocks here to cover up the mud. More cost effective than putting a culvert for a temporary road, because this is a temporary road. This is nothing more than getting logs out. This isn't one of the arteries that they continuously use. This right here is the furthest I've ever made it out here before, because it was just too muddy. The road to the right it's all temporary roads. Left is the way out. The road slowly gets better and better because you come into spots where people were willing to drive. But the deeper you get out here, you keep getting to where it gets worse and worse and less people want to take it. There's some logging to my left. It looks like they were likely using this road in the last couple of years. And because the road isn't in great shape, I imagine they were probably logging it in the winter. In the winter time, they just put chains on their trucks. They throw gravel on top of the ice to give them traction. They do that sometimes because chains are inefficient. They can't drive very quickly with those, so they'll put gravel over the top of the snow. In the winter, they can go log the swampy areas nicely without having to worry about heavy machinery. Oop, a grouse bird. You see it? That just flew away. Yep, a little better. So you'll see this road slowly improve over the next like half a dozen miles. It'll turn back into a nice road where a few people actually live, loggers. Somewhere up here there's another big hole in the road, but somebody marked it. We should have been being more careful on an abandoned road. Clicking sound. It's the tripod. I've tried gluing its joints and everything so it can't flex at all, but it still does. This one's gonna go in the trash tonight. I've used it for a few years and it's slowly breaking apart because of these road conditions. Coming up, you should have some good views of mountains. This is the hole right here. And if you're driving fast, you could break something on it. Alright, got through it nicely. Now we're getting into some nice fall colors. Now that the sun's behind us, we went around a few corners. I imagine the scenery will be pretty nice. See some of these trees, the birch, are getting past peak in this area, and it's only October 2nd. Up north you can get snow in October, especially the end of October. It's pretty common. You can get snow into May, which is uncommon, but it can happen. Growing season doesn't officially start until June 1st, and that is for a reason. Historically, you get frost, snow all the way through May up here. This year I planted my garden right in the middle of May. I had success. The weather was acting really nice for a while, and it stayed nice. I planted my garden without any issue. The last frost this year was in early May, but last year, 2023 growing season, I'm so glad I didn't put my garden out. We had a very deep freeze, I think May 26th or 27th last year. It would have killed my entire garden. Look at the road now. You could tell rapids were going down this. Look at all these rocks. It's like driving a riverbed. It's because the drainage ditches aren't working. So it just eroded all the dirt and sand leaving nothing but rocks behind. So when they build hills, dirt road hills, they put a lot of big boulders, river rocks. Then they put sand and dirt over it to fill the holes and make it smooth. But they put that underneath it so when it rains hard, it doesn't destroy the road. It gets more bumpy, but it won't wash out super bad. The maple trees are still in peak, but the birch looks like it's past. And aspen trees haven't even started. If you see one of them, and we will see some later on this road, they're still completely green, which is nice. Section of road looks like it's actually mowed. The grass isn't able to grow that tall because just enough people are driving it to not kill it but keep it flat. See right here, the maples are looking nice. Came back out onto the road to see us. I think that moose was right about here. You'll be able to see the abandoned road he ran into, maybe. Birch trees on the left didn't even start changing. Guess they're more healthy. Not a lot of rain this year, so the fall colors should look nice for a while. It was a good wet early summer, which was good to help the trees grow, and now that it's dry, the temperatures are cool, so drought's not really killing anything. Everything's nice. But no beaver issues, nothing like that recently. So until it starts raining, I'm not even really actively looking for blockages at the moment. It's just a waste of time because I know from experience we'll find little or nothing and just waste days of driving around. You see the road's getting a little better now. I believe coming up here on the left is somebody's camp. Right here, this road, it looks like it's not even really, yeah, it's barely driven. And it's severely eroded. I could get down there if I wanted, but it would be a slow, uncomfortable ride. The rocks are so big in that road. Even back there where it had those big holes, the speed limit is still 35, even in those really bad sections, because GPS doesn't know what condition the road's in. This used to be 2 lanes, and that's the set speed limit in this area. Main arteries on the logging roads are usually around 45. Curvy ones that are usually 25. This one's not that bad. This is a real beautiful tunnel of trees. Look how colorful this is. In the distance that are bright red on the bottom, green on the top, because it's all pine. picture perfect that is. Got the pine trees up close, the fir trees, and you got a mountain to the left that's bright red, mountain in the back that's green. All we need is a little snow cap on that mountain. All the mountains around here turn bright red like that at the bottom every fall. Alright, we got another good view of that mountain, but we don't have the fall colors really in this shot. Shape. I'll be back to the main artery in a little bit. Somebody will recognize this road up here once we get to it. This thing can't even support the camera. Its tripod's falling apart. It takes a beating on these type of roads. Already glued all the joints so they can't keep slipping, since you can't tighten them enough to not crack them. Alright, here we are. We've been here before. This is that culvert that sometimes gets blocked. It had a good blockage early this year, but not in 2 years before that. This is the one with the big grass blockages. Bogs always float over to it. I'm going to show you. I don't think anyone's going to come. I can just leave the truck here. Another beautiful shot. Look how pushed down this is. I don't know what that's from, animals or people fishing or someone that recognizes that culvert from my videos and comes here. I don't know. This is really beautiful out there, the swamp. So you see all the grassy area. This was all underwater at one point when that culvert was clogged. And this grass, a lot of that is floating on the water, bog. Like fish and stuff can swim underneath it, or it could just be mud. But what happens when it floods out, sometimes pieces break free. All this stuff right here, all these little bushes, even a couple little trees, grass, that's all floating. Thankfully, there's a good log in the way preventing it from getting stuck in the pipe. But we had a piece like that that got plugged. I kicked it and it went through at a big blast. But that's what you call a bog. This is all like tiny little islands floating. On YouTube, sometimes gigantic ones break free. Ones that are like a dozen acres of land will break free and be floating with massive mature trees on it. It's like a floating island, and it can cause issues because those bogs and lakes can crash into people's docks, boat marinas, get stuck under bridges and cause chaos. But there's cool videos of people dragging them with boats and anchoring them somewhere. All right, I thought I would show that. What's wrong? My door was open. This road's not going to be as scenic now. It's mostly evergreens at this point. Tamarack season's around the corner. Those are pine trees that, see the really scraggly pine trees around me? That's the only pine around here that's not evergreen. They turn bright yellow and they will lose all their needles until the spring. I have a bunch of those in my yard. They're still green. They haven't started turning. These ones are slightly tinted. They're about to turn. I had one that turned randomly a month ago when all the rest of mine are still green. I think that tree for some reason died. Some stupid bug was chewing its roots or something happened to it. Look at that mountain in front of us. That's beautiful. Look how red that is. Let me zoom into that. That's beautiful. We're not going to see much now that the road's turning. Won't be able to see these mountains too much more. So I'll end the vlog video here. And I hope today's video was interesting, everyone. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. The trees in front of me aren't even at peak. See, it's very varying when you have this elevation difference all over the place.